Hi. Hi everyone. My name is Nidia Trejo, and today I'm so excited to be part of the Wonder Woman Tech Summit for specific to LatinX We Are Generation theme. And I will be talking about the fine line between quality and sustainable fashion in my talk. I hope this can give you great insight in how to merge your interest in both creative, artistic side and STEM fields. So we'll get started. And just on the topic of We Are Generations, this is very special to me just because the fashion supply chain it stems in my family from my family history. My grandma she immigrated from El Salvador in the 70s to pursue a career in the Los Angeles fashion district where she worked as a seamstress, and she had some initial training in assembling garments through her work in El Salvador. And as I was growing up, she trickled in like inspiration of like just getting into fashion design. So me and my twin sister were we got into drawing at a very young age, and in these pictures that I'm showing, the middle picture is me and my sister, and my grandma had made our outfits, and these were exactly the same. And she did the same when we had our third birthday party, where me and my sister were wearing the exact same outfit, and then my mom had the same outfit as well. And it's so unique to our family history and having such creative talent, like as within someone that you love so much. I say that I started to draw when I was about 9 years old, and then me and my sister really we spent all our summers drawing. By the time we were 15, 16 years old, we had hundreds of drawings to choose from, and we designed outfits for our 16th birthday, where we had our first fashion show. And really the initial drawings, they were very creative. So when we were figuring out what can be made into an outfit, we were thinking, okay, was actually possible to make. We had so many to choose from. We bought all the materials from the Los Angeles fashion district, and yeah, after that I was always trying to figure out what is the technical side of the fashion industry, and I actually didn't find any of those answers in high school. I found that until I went to a textile demonstration activity at UC Davis, where the students there walked me through the science behind fashion. So this was a step-by-step process of how to dye cotton fabric and then what specific chemical is used. They explain the process of using a fiber reactive dye to chemically bond to the cotton fibers, and then why it's important to change the temperature to change the pH, why it's important to add a new substance, and then what actually creates the fixation between the dye stuff and the fiber. And this was really mind-blowing because uh, I didn't realize there was chemistry involved in fashion at all. And I decided to pursue studies at UC Davis, both in fashion design and textile science. And the thing is that at that university, the programs were in completely different colleges, so it was a bit of a challenge to organize being able to get bachelor's of arts into one college and then a bachelor's of science in another college, and trying to do that within 4 years. And at the time, I felt more inspired to pursue the technical route, so to learn more about science and engineering through research at Cornell University, and then through Cornell University, that actually introduced me more to in-depth STEM topics on what are the most important problems to solve within the industry. And I would say overall, my studies at UC Davis and Cornell, they prepared me to understand about both the challenges within quality and within sustainability for the development of products within the fashion supply chain. So what is quality? I moved to California and I entered textile and leather manufacturing facilities as in my first full-time roles. I would define quality as standards that are outlined by the brand. So these brands, they could be sportswear brands like Adidas, Nike, Under Armour, and the brand is specifying what color it means to them, so matching colors, and then being able to match colors specific to trends that they have identified for specific seasons, and also style specs. So style specs, it can be specific to woven fabrics. So those are typically non-stretch materials where the yarns go in parallel and then perpendicular directions. So you might see 90-degree angles between the yarns. So the vertical ones are called warp yarns, and then the horizontal are called weft. Other style specs can be based on knit fabrics. So those are stretchy fabrics commonly found in sportswear like yoga pants or a t-shirt. Aesthetics is also defined by the brand within quality. So aesthetics can be how a material feels. Like the end customer might be looking for a jacket that feels warm, that feels soft, that looks smooth or has a texture to it. So just depending on how the brand identifies aesthetic for the material, that is a quality attribute. Comfort is also an attribute that's relevant to quality. Comfort can be, with an example in sportswear, this can be how fast moisture can move away from the body, like after a person goes on a jog, as an example. So after a person goes on a jog, typically if they are wearing like a cotton shirt, the wetness of it will linger on. But like if there's if there's additional chemicals added to the material, then it can have a performance of being moisture wicking, in that the moisture will be quickly removed from the body and the material, so that it can be drier faster, and then that can enhance the comfort of the wearer. And durability, so this will be how long the material lasts, and this also depends on the end application. So if you think of the automotive industry, there's a lot of abrasion or movement that the seats have to withstand, right? Just because there's a lot of friction between a person's sitting continuously, possibly daily in a car, and then just making sure that the material, it will withstand all the wear that may be associated with frequent touch points throughout its lifetime in a car. So the products are product specific and verified by testing. So by product specific, this can be whether a handbag is being developed, whether a clothing product, whether footwear is being developed, or material for car applications. These products all have different specifications, and testing can be internally through manufacturers or go through third-party testing for objective results. So what is sustainability? This is attention to the resources consumed by creating a product, and it's elements you don't directly associate it with the product, but they are all ingredients that make up the the end product that you see. So as an example, the raw materials, this can include the colorants or the dyestuffs that are used, any chemicals that are used that can contribute to the final attributes. And the raw materials can also include like 100% cotton, 100% polyester, or a hybrid mix between those two as the most commonly used types of fibers for apparel. Water is also an important element. So resource efficiency is important, especially in thinking about sustainability of a product and the life cycle. So water and energy are usually tied very close together. It's mainly based on the equipment that's used. So for example, if there's a water efficient machine, it's also closely linked to being energy efficient. And some things that brands can do to ensure that the resources are being used efficiently is to understand what are the limitations in the production, or what are the minimum requirements to fill up a machine. So for example, if a machine can take 1,000 pounds of material, that will be 100% efficiency. But if a brand just orders 300 pounds of material, then there still has to be a certain amount of water that is consumed during the running of the machine, and then also a certain level of energy use. Wastewater is another element. So the first, raw materials, water, and energy, they're all part of inputs. And what I discuss next is part of outputs, more downstream outputs. Wastewater that's generated is usually result of after the dyeing or finishing of materials, there's going to be some unreacted chemicals. So, and then you might see colored water as a result, and then other type of residues. So maybe there's fibrillate as well. In wastewater, and the Zero Discharge of Hazardous Chemical Program has formed in response to the water pollution issues from the fashion industry. So ZDHZ has set standards on what the wastewater, how clean it should be after if the wastewater passes a wastewater treatment plant. Air quality, this is dependent on often this is dependent on the processes that are done inside the manufacturer, and there could be systems that will clean up the air before the final air is output into the environment. And it's also closely dependent on what are the regulations in the country. Waste management is a big topic. So this can include trash that will go to a landfill, and then materials that can be recycled, like textile scraps, cardboard, paper, plastic, although the Chinese import ban has put limitations on what types of plastic can be actually recycled. And all of these resources, a way for a manufacturer to just define how efficient and their processes are and improve on it, is to monitor these really on a daily basis and set a baseline, then reduction goals. Carbon footprint is a major issue within the product production, just because typically transportation has the biggest impact. And then really this is a persistent issue because the supply chain is truly global, but just constantly rethinking about how to reduce carbon footprint for products is critical to move sustainability efforts along. Documentation is also crucial for the operation of a sustainable business, both from the standpoint of making sure that there's proper training materials in place for when new employees join, and then when just for the continued training and development of the workforce. Documentation can also include the presence of an organization of permits, so related to any of these resources that are consumed, and organizational charts of the business, and yeah, so just for to support the processes that are repeatable, and then making sure that they're consistent for high quality output of products and services. Other ideas for sustainable design are so designers to have zero waste in mind. So designers are the ones that have a great influence in sustainability, in that they have a vision for a product, and then they might be able to like say what chemicals might be used for performance attributes, and then also the end design. A response to sustainability can be a commitment to local production, so that would reduce the carbon footprint that transportation currently has. Attention to worker well-being. So worker well-being is important more and more for corporate social responsibility, and just making sure that the business can be sustainable, in that there's high retention of the workforce, and that they're happy and being able to perform at their best day to day. And just supporting an environment of continuous learning, because sustainability, it requires people to be open to learning new things and trying to understand what all of these technical resources mean, what it means for them in present day, and then what it can mean in the future. The major takeaways from this talk are to always look for ways to apply your STEAM knowledge in the fashion supply chain. So from a science perspective, this can be through just gaining knowledge in chemistry. This can also be from a physics perspective, since there's a lot involved in processing of a material from when, really from the farm to when it reaches the end consumer. With technology, and there's more technologies developing that are creating more visibility into the fashion supply chain. So being able to use different tools and just being open to new technologies that are emerging can be helpful for a more transparent fashion supply chain. And then just using knowledge of engineering. So engineers, they can have impact on more efficient processes in manufacturing, and then also from the brand perspective as well, just because engineers think in more systematic ways than designers, and then can also help designers invent new ways of producing sustainable materials. And then any creative your creative outlet in the arts is it's unique, because not many people are able to merge both the arts and STEM fields together. So that's really powerful if you can relate it into STEM fields. And then just being familiar with mathematics, it'll go a long way, both for from the standpoint of just data being everywhere these days, and then it's just expected to grow, and then people being able to manage it and analyze it into to guide toward data-driven decisions is crucial. The second item is to have a curious and learning mindset. So I just gave a lot of different ideas on how you can possibly apply your STEAM knowledge, and that goes along with being curious and just having a commitment to learning. The third takeaway is to find your tribe in sustainable fashion. So I would say this is a journey, just because there isn't, I would say that the people who are experts in sustainable fashion, they might not actually be local to where you are. They are worldwide and carry a wide range of experience, both inside the industry, maybe they're not in the industry, but they are part of global nonprofits or environmental groups or government agencies that understand like specific legislation related to apparel products. So I would say that finding your tribe is going to be a journey, and it's important to just always be actively searching for support. So feel free to reach out to me with any questions you have. My email is here. So NidiaKTrejo@gmail.com.